Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and I literally just got back from the airport, back from my trip to Scotland, which was such a great time, but it does mean that I am quite tired now, and I probably don't look the best either, but screw it, we're gonna go forward with this anyway, because I'm already late enough getting to this as it is. This is the 200th episode of Death Battle, Ruby Rose versus Maka Albarn. I'm very excited to see what Death Battle has done with this one. First of all, the 200th episode, like, that's insane as it is, but also the matchup itself, you know, Monty Oum's matchup, the creator of RWBY. Like, I definitely think they're gonna have some special stuff saved for this one, so I'm really excited to see all of that. And I like the matchup in and of itself too. Like, this was among my most wanted matchups for a while, so yes, I am very excited. But to keep things brief, in terms of who I am rooting for, I would probably say RWBY. I just think I have a softer spot for the character and the series as a whole. No disrespect to Soul Eater, of course, that's just probably how I feel. But in terms of who I think is going to win, at this moment, probably Maka. I know Death Battle could look at things differently, but it seems that RWBY does potentially have her own advantages, like in terms of general skill and technique, and potentially also speed at her best, like her best speed. But I think Maka's advantages are harder for RWBY to keep up with. Like, I think her advantages are generally just by a bigger degree, stuff like power, defense, just general abilities and the effectiveness of those abilities. I think that's just going to be harder for RWBY to keep up with than Maka would be keeping up with RWBY's advantages. But even still, Death Battle could look at it differently, so we'll just have to wait and see for the analyses. So without further ado, let's watch Death Battle number 200.
Ruby Rose versus Maka Albarn.
The battle of spunky teens with oversized gardening tools. He's
Right, yeah, gardening tools, yeah.
And it's our
I
job
do
to
like
analyze
the
their
scythe
weapons,
just
armor,
as a
and
weapon.
skills
I think
to
it's
find
pretty
out who would
cool.
win a death
But of course,
battle.
these scythes are a little different, so let's go.
I remember when Mama Boomstick read me bedtime fairy tales. Stories of heroes and warnings about eating those little berries and quicksand.
Okay.
So much quicksand.
Yet in the world of Remnant, fairy tales are real.
Right.
Here, huntresses do battle with
And not all of
monstrous
them are
grim.
great.
There was nothing more exciting than that to Ruby Rose.
Daughter to the world-renowned huntress, Summer.
Official
who
VTuber,
disappeared.
yes.
Little Red really wanted nothing
Eats
more
cookies
than
and
to
drinks
be
milk
a
like
huntress.
Santa.
Her dedication paid off. Admitted into Beacon Academy 2 years ahead, a premier school for huntsmen and huntresses.
Right.
Ruby,
Because she's
clearly
2 years
showed
younger than
prodigious talent.
Yang
Not
and
just that,
the rest
she's
of them.
got the weapon geek gene just like yours truly. Ruby doesn't leave home without her trusty Crescent Rose. It may look like a high-tech scythe, and it is.
Yeah, I was about to
but
say,
it's
that is
also
what
a
it is.
gun. Ruby made Crescent
Yeah.
Rose herself. It's like a dance between Crypt
Yeah,
Reaper's
lots of
choice
dust.
and a bolt-action sniper rifle.
A dance is fitting, as huntsmen are locked in a never-ending waltz in their battle with the Grim.
Crescent Rose can switch between sniper and scythe at the press of a button. Ruby's an old hand at flinging and moving it exactly how she wants.
Oh, I mean, at this point, yeah. How long has RWBY been going on now?
Do it with those noodle arms. The girl can't even throw a punch.
Well, she might not need to, given the strength of
She's
her
still
aura.
skilled.
All living beings in Remnant have an aura, except dark creatures like Grim, though not all of them can utilize it in combat without extensive training. See, aura
And it is a
forms
manifestation of
barrier
the
that
soul,
blocks fatal
right?
blows and even heals wounds.
It can make weapons stronger too. When Ruby slaps a cartridge of dust into Crescent Rose, her aura lights up nature's wrath in man's hand.
Dramatic, but accurate. This dust
Well, I mean, a
represents
lot
the
of things in
base
RWBY are
elements of the
dramatic,
world.
wouldn't you say?
Fire, electricity, ice, wind, anti-gravity. Does that last one count?
Rule of cool.
Sure,
Wiz.
why not?
She's got the eyes of a hawk, and when she shoots you with dust,
She's also got the
a bullet
eyes of
was the last
silver?
thing you'll be worried about.
I don't know.
With enough of a boost, ice dust can freeze over whole mechs, and she can power up her kicks to crater military-grade steel.
A person's
11
aura
tons
may
of
be
TNT. I'm
limited,
seeing
but Ruby can
3.6
keep track of
kiloton
hers with
explosion.
this handy health bar on
Impressive.
her not smartphone.
Ruby blasted through Huntress classes with flying colors. Almost right away, she was appointed the leader of her own group, with White Schnee, Flake Belladonna, and Big Sis Yang
Yeah.
Xiaolong. Oh, I get it. Team RWBY.
RWBY, yeah.
After many years of learning with her friends would be dashed as evil machinations spread like wildfire. And with a flash of silver light, Beacon had fallen.
Ruby's friends? Dead. Her school?
Some of them,
totally
yeah.
wrecked. Her sister? Disarmed. Oh, because of a lover spat that went way too far.
Salem saw the world
Right,
divided,
Salem.
and it was time to say goodbye to any happily ever after.
But Ruby wouldn't give up like that, so she
Good.
set off to change the world.
Otherwise, we wouldn't really have a story.
Crescent Rose began to feel heavier and heavier. Could she really save the world like her fairy tale heroes? All she did is what she's always done and never stopped moving forward.
Because Crescent
Well, I mean, what else
wasn't
can you
the
do?
only thing she needed. She had to improve her semblance too.
Right. While aura is essentially the manifestation of one's soul,
Uh-huh.
the semblance is an expression of their personality.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a superpower.
But I'm really happy they
powered by
brought up the
aura.
soul
And
thing,
Ruby's got
'cause
super
that could be
speed.
important.
Or a teleport. Or what is she doing exactly?
Close. This is
There's an explanation for
a
it.
mixture of speed, teleportation, and intangibility.
Yes.
Ruby can rocket from one point to another in milliseconds.
By literally bursting into petals.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, I think it
According
looks
to
pretty
Best
cool.
Robo Girl Penny, Ruby's semblance is extremely complex and variable.
Yeah.
It involves breaking her body down to its molecular components before zooming off in complex paths, negating the laws of mass entirely.
AKA
Right.
super speed.
And again, with the
plus.
intangibility
Nora's
thing,
best
like,
girl.
that could help
Ruby's
too.
petal burst is so quick she can make flying missiles look completely still. Good luck tagging her with a bullet or a
Right.
breadstick.
She's certainly quick enough to give Emerald
food
and
fight,
Mercury
yeah.
a hard time, and they've dodged actual lightning.
She's faster than
Mach
Blake,
77.
who can keep up with the most cringe faunus of all, Adam Tars.
Right.
He did draw his sword fast enough to parry an actual particle beam. In real life, such a beam is created by accelerating charged particles to just under light speed.
Just under.
That's impressive.
With such a powerful ability, Ruby could safely shine her smile for years, even as she carried the fate of Remnant across the world. To her friends, she was a beacon of hope.
Ah, I see what you
'cause
did there.
She's got one more superpower. Her silver eyes.
Right.
Just like her mom.
We can't leave
Ruby
that out.
inherited them from the god of light as a weapon against negative anti-life energy, like the evil goop.
Negative
Rain spawned from.
anti-life
Just a wink
energy.
and blam! Sayonara, dragon of darkness.
But Ruby's skills didn't falter after her time at Beacon. As she journeyed across Remnant, she leveled up to compete with all sorts of powerful magic and mechanized foes.
Met Superman
Her
and
team could even
Ragna.
match the
Yeah.
Peace Ops, an elite squad of longtime professional huntsmen.
Including Harriet, whose super speed semblance was totally outclassed by Petal Burst, and Vine, whose aura was strong enough to contain a bomb that was about to decimate the whole city of Mantle. Man, these are
they gonna calculate that?
Auras.
Though it's important to remember, Ruby is only
Maybe not.
17 years old. The weight of being a leader, a savior, and a huntress like her mother would get heavier and heavier.
Well, of course, yeah.
and heavier.
The kids in this stuff,
Look at her go.
they go
Taking
through
Crescent
it.
Rose firmly in hand and sending a message of unity to the rest of the world. Ruby had finally left the fairy tale behind, taking one more step toward the day we've waited for.
Very nice. And now Maka's
A
turn.
sound soul dwells within a sound mind and a sound body.
But all the unjust evil
Wise
souls
words.
of this world are on the Disney fast pass to becoming a Kishin.
Destructive gods mutated from good-natured souls. A Kishin could plunge the world into chaos.
Mm-hmm. The imagery
and
of Soul
madness.
Eater?
If only
Pretty cool.
someone could stop them.
Bing bong, it's the DWMA. Welcome to Death Weapon Meister Academy, where death rules.
Or Death Academy, you could also
Literally,
say
his
that.
Name is Death.
Here, Lord Death tasks humans to become spiritually talented meisters of demon weapons.
AKA
We haven't
people
seen
who are
Soul
also
Eater
a
since
weapon.
Krona,
No, really,
Venom
they
versus
transform
Krona, so
into weapons,
this is nice.
Guns, ninja stars, hammers, you name it. A Meister weapon pair kills and consumes lost souls to keep the Kishin away. Jack the Ripper? More like Jack the Fraud.
And so, the demon weapon Soul was paired with the dutiful
Yeah,
rising
hey, Soul.
star, Maka Albarn.
Hey,
Talk
Maka.
about your classic teacher's pet.
Yeah,
The
she's
kinda
even
girl who
younger
leaves an apple on the
than
desk
than
and
Ruby.
Goes, Teacher, you forgot to give us homework.
She dislikes
And then we
unfaithful
jump
men.
As if Soul's
Fair.
a weapon who's too concerned with being cool to do any real work.
Hey, Soul's not just any demon weapon, he's a Scythe. And
Mm-hmm.
he's got his sights on upgrading to the highest level of Death Scythe.
Which would be a high honor. And lucky for Soul, Maka always aims high.
With that
Yeah.
common goal, Maka
Again,
and Soul
with this stuff,
formed
you
the
gotta.
Dream Team. All
Or
they
else there's no
needed was
story.
99 Kishin eggs and the soul of a witch. Easy, right?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, and that
Maka
moon.
is
Hi, moon.
extraordinarily perceptive at spotting and examining souls. She can detect spiritual presences from millions of yards away.
Okay.
And can discern its nature, stability, and emotions.
Time for
Stability.
class, then. The two
Yeah.
trained hard, but their styles kind of weird. Okay, so Maka guides Soul in the direction she wants to go, but
Yeah.
Soul, the Scythe, does all the actual movements himself. Maka's the Meister,
Yes.
Soul's the weapon.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
Conductor and instrumentalist. A Meister weapon pair cannot work in harmony without total cooperation.
Bad their teamwork
The resonance, yeah.
sucked. They fumbled the easiest chance for Death Scythe.
Yeah, I mean, everyone
status,
starts that way,
F-minus.
right?
Maka just could not get
Was
into
that Fairly
the
Odd
Wavelength.
Parents?
She was Skilled, sure, more skilled than most.
Keyword most. There were plenty of rivals.
Oh yeah, there's a
showing
few.
up, like Blackstar and Tsubaki.
Really puts a damper on the straight A's when this show-off is doing better
It was up to Maka and Soul to improve their teamwork through Soul Resonance.
What I said about Wavelength wasn't metaphorical. Rather, wavelengths are the means with which Meister and Weapon draw strength through each other. Think of two wavelengths as different emotional amplitudes that must merge
gotta match
at
up.
one alignment.
Yeah.
If the Meister's the guitar and the Weapon's the amp, then they create a feedback loop to increase its frequency. That's Soul Resonance.
Soul
We've seen a
Resonance
little
creates
bit of
a
this with
telepathic
Venom
link
versus
and
Chrono.
surges their
But
strength
it's cool they're
and
going
speed.
deeper into it
And
now.
props them for cool scythe moves like the Witch Hunt Slash, a big energy strike that puts the L in evil.
As the name implies, it works especially well against witches and
Maka
other evil
Chop.
creatures. It's not exclusive or anything.
And yeah, all the
It's
hunt
actually
slashes,
really
yeah.
deadly against evil because of Maka's rare anti-demon wavelengths. Basically, being a goody little two-shoes gets her the
Not really going to be
better
effective against
inferior,
Ruby,
whatever.
at least not
Maka and
largely,
Soul were
but
becoming a
still,
synchronized
good to go
unit,
over.
Though one would sometimes need to rein in the other's idiotic habits.
And the other guy.
Well, that's the thing, you cover each other, right? That's what it is.
Whiz.
But everything changed after a unique encounter with Krona, which nearly killed Soul.
Now Soul had an ogre pal in his head, waiting for him to swing on over and play the piano. Yep, Soul got infected with black blood.
Yeah.
Blood was specially brewed as a weaponizable blood. It hardens and strengthens its user's body, inside and out, increasing their physical ability. They can even block blades with their bare skin.
Too bad it comes with a little side effect of madness with a capital M.
Yeah, as they said before, yeah.
All living things possess, which threatens to ruin the world.
So it was kind of a big deal that Maka was bummed by how she got Soul in a jam. But thanks to Soul, she got over it and even welcomed in their new little ogre buddy.
Now when Soul plays his grand piano, their soul resonance sings even louder through the black blood.
Giving
Very
Maka
cool.
all the perks of black blood too, even the crazy parts. Bet you didn't expect that, Krona.
But evil saw their plans through. The Kishin Asura had arrived. Madness was spreading everywhere.
So Maka and Soul had to lock in and upgrade their witch hunt to the even stronger demon hunt slash. They
Look
went
at
on
that
even more
thing.
missions to reach souls with classmates like Blackstar, and that guy outran his own shadow.
Perhaps the most obvious evidence ever of faster than light speed.
Severed
And
shadow
Maka
faster
could
than
finally
light,
keep
yeah.
up with him.
Pair that with her fight with the demon.
So at
Soul
least
Gopher,
close,
who
yeah.
could obliterate whole mountains, and you've got one hell of an ass kicker.
16
And yet, Maka's
kilotons,
relationship
okay.
with Soul still faltered. Soul was the real star here. Even other Meisters were trying to take him as a weapon, away from Maka.
I mean, he literally moves himself, so Maka couldn't help but wonder if she was holding him back all along.
But Soul said the truth.
But
In
they
all
work
of their
together.
missions, their teamwork was
Yeah.
the key to their victory. An orchestral performance is only as good as the one conducting. And so,
100%.
the wavelengths played in harmony, and Maka donned a dress of black blood.
It's an armor literally made of blood, and it lets Maka fly around and shoot out her soul as an epic sound wave. So
Okay.
freaking metal.
At the same time, Soul discovered he could hack souls and directly transmit Maka's anti-demon wavelengths, basically shutting their enemy completely down through Soul Adagio.
And
Yes.
they
I was
finally
waiting
achieved
for
Death
that.
Scythe. The dream's here, baby.
Think
when
Ruby
Chrono's
might be
own Black Blood
screwed.
reached its final stage, Maka and Soul flew to the moon. A moon small and unassuming, but so dense it has the same mass as the planet itself. The very world's
Really?
sanity was at stake.
Interesting.
Krona might have gone insane, but Maka still reached out to their new friend Soul until the Kishin showed up to ruin everything. Come on, Asura, they're having a moment here. Timing, bro.
In what would be Maka's final exam,
Soul, I'm ready.
Maka,
Let's show
Soul,
'em.
and all of their friends faced off against the Kishin.
And she passed.
You think Maka
Plus,
wouldn't scale the
Maka pulled
Fire
her weight
Force.
and
Okay,
perfected
fine.
Her teamwork with Soul. Their wavelengths were pitch perfect.
Asura did everything he could to separate them, crater them into the moon, punch holes in Maka's chest, tamper their souls with madness, and each time they successfully realigned their wavelengths.
Until they
So, like, you
kicked
just
his
take all
ass
that
with
punishment.
One final upgrade, the Kishin Hunt Slash.
Geez, another one. Yes, okay.
Maka Chop. Now that's what I call absolute sin.
Because a sound soul dwells within a
That's
sound
cool. That's on like some
and
merch,
body.
isn't it? As well, the
So
Wisdom
should you
Boomstick.
feel
That's fun.
overwhelmed by evil's roars,
I'm still waiting
just
for my
like
Boomstick
42,
plush.
42 564 whenever you want to knock on death's door.
A nice way to end it.
All right, the combatants.
Okay, and now we talk about this.
Run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a scythe battle!
Yeah, time for a scythe battle. Episode 200. Okay, so this is kind of looking stacked against RWBY, I'm not gonna lie. And again, like, that's kind of what I was thinking going into this, that I thought Maka was going to win, but them laying it all out like this especially, like, unless they're really holding stuff back, and I think they might be as well to some degree, because there was that feat at the end for RWBY where I was wondering, like, are they going to calculate this? And they didn't, so they might save that for the conclusion. But then there's also a bunch of stuff that Maka survived at the end of her analysis, and it's like, well, she survived this and this and this, so I feel like there's going to be other feats or calculations that they might bring up. In terms of what they said in the actual analyses, though, it looks like Maka is more powerful because she could scale to the 16 kiloton feat, I believe it was, whereas RWBY, the best thing I saw for RWBY, again, for what they calculated or gave like a number for, was there was a black box where it said it was comparable to Weiss's dust, which something either power, durability, I don't remember, but it was 3.6 kilotons. So both of them in the kiloton range, but Maka's number was higher. And again, there are other feats I'm sure that they could go over, but based on my understanding of the characters, even before watching this, I was pretty confident that Maka just generally had way better feats of power. So there's that for one thing. In terms of speed, again, they might update some things after the battle is over, but they were the best they said for RWBY was almost light speed, like comparing to Adam, but then for Maka, it was approaching Black Star's speed, which was faster than light. They might still say that's around even though, or that again, you know, well, they said, was it with Petal Burst that she'd be able to match Adam, or was it without Petal Burst? Because if it was without, then she could be faster at that point with it. So speed, you know, could still be pretty similar to each other, but I don't think RWBY, at very least, I don't think RWBY has like a massive advantage there. So that's not great for her. And they specifically mentioned that the soul, you know, or the aura of, you know, RWBY characters are a manifestation of the soul, which is true, but I'm happy they brought it up, because then they also brought up Soul Adagio, which, again, I knew going into this could mess with one's soul, so it can probably shut down her aura, and at that point, that also shuts down her semblance and her special protection, and it just generally leaves her way more vulnerable. The one saving grace that RWBY might have, in my opinion, like, she has some, like, impressive abilities as well, but, like, so does Maka, you know, she has the madness, and again, I think the Soul Adagio is just going to be more effective than, you know, some dust that Maka can likely just dodge or come back from, you know. But the one saving grace that RWBY might have is if her Silver Eyes can, you know, disintegrate or get rid of in some way the black blood that Maka has. Even then, though, even if that could work, because they did say that, you know, it was like negative emotions or some emotional energy. Was it emotional energy? It was something like that. Even if they want to equate that to the black blood, which you definitely could make the argument for that, I still don't think that messes up Maka as much as losing the aura messes up RWBY. Like, it definitely takes away some of that extra protection and some of the shape-shifting abilities and all of that, but it doesn't, like, completely depower her in the same way that, you know, it does for, that it would for RWBY, to my understanding, like getting rid of the aura. And even if, you know, it was exactly the same, like it was as much of a handicap, it's not like RWBY is so much faster to the point where she could do that immediately and then immediately kill her. Like, I think she would need a pretty massive speed advantage for that, and it just doesn't look like she has that, if even a speed advantage at all. So I'm sure there are some things that I could have benefited rewatching again just to get everything straight, but based on all of that, I feel like if anything, they would just have to bring up like other feats for RWBY or other scaling for RWBY that they just didn't talk about before, because nothing of what they said makes me think that, you know, RWBY outstats Maka to the point where she would have to, at least. And it still seems like Maka's more powerful, you know? So I feel like with all of that put together, I still think Maka's going to win. But we don't know until we know, so let's watch the animation.
Okay, it's official. This is so not cool.
I did see the trailer ahead of time. This looks pretty cool.
Should be here, so try helping out. Hi! Who are you looking for?
Yeah, that looks pretty similar. Tumbleweed.
Little Red Riding Hood, your humanity
Ooh.
has strayed from its just path, and the Shinigami has called for you. Your boyfriend turns into a scythe!
Oh, we love the fangirling.
Your soul is ours!
But she gets right to business. The track already feels very RWBY-esque, as it should.
My soul thanks.
And the way RWBY moves with her scythe too, the way both of them do, like, the choreography already.
Moves are sick, but too slow for my Meister.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, we got a little more to show.
She's quick, but we can handle it.
Can we? Okay, cool shot. Ouch. Yeah, don't fall in the water. Ooh. And I do love the cartoony 3D. Kind of similar to Spider-Man vs. Deku. Yeah, Maka knows how to throw hands better. I think at range, or at least using your scythe, is where you want to be, RWBY.
Get back here!
Yeah, I feel like that gunfire should not be hard for her to dodge. Yeah, she's just dodging, parrying everything. So cool.
Soul, hurry!
Yeah, play the piano. That smile. We got the dress, I was about to say, yep.
Interesting. Her soul forms a barrier. Try helping out.
Relax.
You got this. Oh, that's cool. They switch up the music for that. That's so cool. Although the aura is not down yet, I don't think. I imagine we're gonna get to the silver eyes. Oh, that's like a RWBY shot, yep. The gremlin, or the goblin in the back.
Sorry, but I'll never stop fighting.
Oh, and they use the ruby moon, okay.
I'm Ruby Rose, and I am a huntress.
Yeah, you are.
Adagio.
Oh.
Ruby!
Okay. Yeah, I imagine we got the silver eyes. Does it get rid of the black blood?
Stay strong, Maka. You got this.
Maka? Oh no. That's not good. Remind me of Link versus Cloud 2. Getting split in half like that.
Ruby Rose, huh?
Beautiful soul. And both the moons! That was cool!
Rest in peace, RWBY.
A lot of
Hey,
respect
it's
injected
not
into
often
that.
you can see scythe on scythe action like that.
Let's break this down with the 4 categories that best represent this matchup.
As usual.
First, strength.
Or a supercharged RWBY's strength way higher than you'd think, like kicking this Grim through steel. But Maka's soul resonance could match Gopher, who destroyed mountains.
Now,
So
Team
even
RWBY
just
did
using the
defeat
feats they
Vine,
talked about,
whose
yeah.
aura contained a
Again, there are
bomb that could have
definitely... Oh,
wiped
there's
out the
more.
city.
Adding up their flight speed and how far
I was about to
Harriet
say,
said
because
they'd
there's
have
other
to
ones you
fly
could look
before the
at, like
blast.
this.
That's a 366 kiloton bomb.
Which is the
It's
highest number we've
possible
seen, I
RWBY's
think.
own aura possesses a similar level of, say, energy strength. Though her semblance obviously can't replicate what Vine did.
No.
Black Blood Maka got blasted by Asura.
Yeah,
into the moon.
I had a feeling
It's
we'd be
small,
going
but its
here.
mass is the same as Earth's, right?
Putting Asura's strikes at 2 quadrillion tons of TNT.
Yikes.
Over 5 billion times.
I mean, you are cratering the moon,
Maka
so...
takes strength, but speed
Fair
wasn't
enough.
as clear cut. Ruby's a fast little gal. Maka kept up with Black Star, you know, faster than Shadows and whatnot. But as they improved their skills, Ruby and her friends could outspeed Atom.
who blocked a particle beam.
Oh,
Though
specifically
given the distance and
outspeed.
time to react, Atom moved about 42% the speed of light.
But still not
quite
light
faster
speed.
than your own shadow territory. Still, Ruby's pedal burst has become far faster than this.
Yeah,
over
so they're
time,
probably gonna call
and
this a
clearly
tie, I
gets more
imagine.
than a 2-time speed increase on top of that 42%, making her well past light speed.
Definitely
Right.
enough to take on Harriet, who was all about speed. Angry speed.
This isn't to say Maka couldn't keep up thanks
Like
to
reverse
Soul
flash.
Resonance, but pedal burst makes this comparison close enough to call it a tie.
Yeah,
Your speed
fair
would
enough.
be key to winning in skill.
Come on, Wiz. Call it what it really is. It's Scythery.
Scythery.
Maka's Scythery was
I could
pretty
see
good,
RWBY
but
taking
Soul
this
does all
one.
the movement for her. As a Meister, she was
That is fair,
mostly a
though.
guide.
It's easy to assume that Ruby's Scythery was superior. she's entirely self-sufficient at dancing with her weapon.
Soul's own control is still a factor here, but it doesn't change that RWBY's been swinging that thing for way longer than Maka.
And she is older.
In the bag.
Okay, yeah. But then powers again, that has to be Maka.
Strength if she had the better powers.
So,
yeah.
War is really cool. Barriers, healing, superpowers, and so on.
I mean, the durability would still be tough, but yeah.
It is a
the powers are a big part of this.
For all of RWBY's powers.
Petal Burst, activating Dust, even powering up Crescent Rose takes juice and some aura. Once it's gone,
and once you get rid of the aura.
Totally vulnerable.
And there's a second key factor regarding aura. It is specifically a manifestation of RWBY's soul.
And Maka's powers are all about taking on souls. Maka had lots of ways
That's
to
kind of, yeah, like as cool as this matchup is, and you know how fitting it is, that is a big problem. As far as just like comparing things.
What about Ruby's silver eyes?
Her
anti-grim eye beams. Turns out they were actually her best secret weapon.
The negative power of Grim is quite similar to Madness wavelengths, which power Black Blood. Since anti-demon wavelengths can cancel out Black Blood,
I was curious if they were going to equate this stuff.
Similar effect.
But Maka and Soul's whole story is about reaching that perfect soul resonance.
Yeah.
Asura tried every way in the book and more to separate their wavelengths and failed. And we already talked about how much stronger he is than RWBY. Maka takes powers, because when she rose to the occasion,
okay, fair enough. I think this makes sense.
And bit the dust.
The winners are Maka Albarn and Soul Evans.
Cool, very cool.
Soul Evans?
Yes. Next time on Deathbattle, we have... Oh my god, is it Blade versus Buffy? With the Ismahawk! Oh my god!
Remember to see more death.
No way! This is the Ismahawk episode and the Halloween episode, Blade versus Buffy. Holy shit, I was not expecting this. Okay, actually, when I was getting off of the plane with my brother, because we both came back from Scotland today, when we landed, my brother asked me, so have you seen the new Deathbattle? And I said, no, I was on a plane with you. And he said, do you know who's next? And I said, no, I was on a plane with you. And I was wondering, why is he asking me if I know who's next? Because he would only do that if it's something that I like, and probably more so something that we both like. And we both love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Blade. This is a lot of Marvel, though. I'm just noticing that. That is a lot of Marvel that we're getting across this year, which is fine, I guess. Like, they are all very different characters, like Ghost Rider, Blade, Spider-Man, and Hulk. You know, those are all very different characters. It is a surprising amount of Marvel. I did not think this was going to be Ash versus Yugi. I imagine that one's either going to be saved for November or December. Not just because of the Halloween thing, because they were saying that they might not do a Halloween one, but it seems like at this point, though, that they seemed that they were going to be doing it because, again, they knew they were doing an Ismahawk episode, and they would have had to plan that out a while, but that's so cool. That's awesome. Blade versus Buffy is one of my most wanted death battles. It's like top 25, I'm pretty sure. Even more so than RWBY versus Maka. Like, honestly, I am so happy about this. If you do not know Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like, it's 7 seasons, like, it's not a very brief watch, but it's a lot of it still holds up. Not all of it, but some of it still holds up. It was made by Joss Whedon, unfortunately, but I have to admit a lot of the writing is quite good and snappy. And of course, Blade is Blade. Like, he's awesome, right? So, okay. This is gonna be cool. I don't know. I'm very tired right now, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to this prediction, but I'm absolutely gonna predict this. And I imagine they're gonna be using the Buffy comics as well. The Buffy comics might get invalidated because they are doing a revival series for Buffy, which was actually one of the things I was hoping would have this episode get made, like Blade versus Buffy specifically, and I wasn't sure. Now I'm not sure if that actually did affect this because they might have had to plan this out for a while, but that is amazing. I am so happy about this. This is so great. One of my most wanted Halloween episodes as well, just bluntly put. So, okay, that's going to be awesome for Ismahawk. talking about this one, because we still have to talk about this, yeah, I enjoyed this thoroughly. I really hope this is something that a lot of other people enjoy. Like, maybe there are some people that think like, well, they didn't analyze this the right way, or I would have preferred them to put a bigger emphasis on this. That's fine, but like, I could tell, even if they didn't have to say it outright. They didn't have to say like, this is Monty Oum's episode, you know, they didn't have to do any of that, but it was clear the amount of like, you know, personality they were putting into it, the amount of respect, the imagery as well. Like, I really love how the music, like the whole track switches up when, you know, Maka and Soul go into high gear. Like, that is such a perfect idea. And the whole animation as well. Like, yes, a lot of the time it was just scythes being swung around, but they still managed to make it entertaining the whole way through. And we saw enough of their other abilities as well. The ending may be a little abrupt, but honestly, like, that just might be my first time watching it. Like, I still think it was handled very well. Like, and with the scythe landing down, you know, like, I think so much of it just, it worked for me, as, you know, for RWBY and Maka, and, you know, trying to, you know, stylize them in the same episode, you know, trying to put all of that together. It really felt like a perfect blend of what they were all about. Similar to like Joker versus Giorno. That's another example of when I think like they put the stylistic sides of the characters, like they put it together basically perfectly. And I would say this is very similar in that regard. That was so much fun to watch. And the analyses, yes, they definitely like waited to talk about things, which is fine. You know, I've accepted that that's the way they do it sometimes, but I'm at least happy though that, you know, they did talk about, I assume, what they felt were the best feats for the characters, because you still want Deathbattle to portray the characters as accurately as possible to how strong they are, right? So I'm really happy that they did go into the calculations for at least some of those other feats that they didn't give calculations for before. So I really appreciated that. And yeah, like a lot of the stuff seemed very like what I was thinking. Like, I did think that RWBY had the advantage in terms of skill, or scythery as they say, but not so much so that would be like a huge problem. They were even talking about, you know, how Soul helps manipulate it as well. So even though RWBY got the point, I didn't think it would be by that big of a margin. And with speed, again, like similar, like I thought, you know, best case scenario, you could give RWBY a slight speed advantage, but to put it around even, yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting as well. It really is like the power, the durability, and the abilities, where it's like, Maka just takes that in spades, you know, like that's not something that RWBY can as easily keep up with compared to Maka keeping up with RWBY's advantages. So overall, like the outcome makes perfect sense to me. It's basically everything I was expecting going into this. Not to say I have to expect it or I have to get everything right, but it does make sense. It reinforces those previous opinions that I had. And yeah, again, like I thought, you know, the script writing was generally pretty good. Again, this is one where I think I'm going to have to rewatch it in case I missed something, like whether in the analyses or the animation. I mean, I rewatch every Deathbattle, but this is definitely one where I want to pay like really close attention just to make sure. But this was a very strong episode in my opinion. I did very much enjoy this. And yeah, I'm excited for Blade versus Buffy, and they've gone through all the RWBY characters now. They've gone through at least like the biggest Soul Eater matchup. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest Soul Eater matchup. I don't think there are other ones out there, of course, but I don't think any that were like as big as this. And yeah, I really wish Monty Oum could have seen this, but I'm sure he would have really enjoyed this as well. But yeah, no, I just think this was really well put together. They knew what they were doing. Deathbattle really knew how important this was, and I do think they delivered on it. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you could too. That would be amazing. It would really help my channel out. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.